What's going on YouTube? My name is Sweat and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some of my best tips and tricks on how to play aggressively with Wraith while also being successful and winning gunfights, of course. And then secondly, I'll be going over a gameplay with you guys and breaking down certain decisions I make while playing Wraith. So if you're a Wraith main and struggle to get more than 10 kills, then this is definitely the video for you. Without further ado, let's hop into some tips. Tip number 1 is using Wraith's portal both ways, and what I mean by this is using her ultimate to enter and exit gunfights. Normally when a Wraith player drops their portal, it's meant to exit tough situations, portal an enemy out of zone, rotate around different areas of the map, etc, etc, etc. But there is one other way to use the portal that not too many think about, which is getting aggressive and using the portal to either get high ground on enemies or push right into enemies in general. A few examples of using your portal aggressively to enter fights would be if you hear gunshots in the distance. This would be a perfect time to use your portal for a third-party opportunity. Or if you see enemies on low ground and your team isn't directly with you, you can make a portal to your team, which would allow them to engage in the fight as well. And 9 times out of the 10, if you have the positional advantage on a team, you will win those gunfights. And the last example is if you actually decide to jump off of high ground to engage a team, you can make a portal just in case you need to get back up there if things get wild and you end up low on health at any point. Tip number 2 is using Wraith's phase ability correctly. Specifically for this video, I will be telling you how to use it aggressively. So believe it or not, Wraith can actually be the most aggressive legend in the game due to her phase ability. You can get right up in enemies' faces and then phase out and become invincible for a short time if anything doesn't go according to plan. This can do 2 things for you and your teammates if you are using the ability correctly. Number 1 is that you will most likely do some damage to the enemies before you have to phase out, in which if your teammates are close to you, they should be able to clean them up without a problem. And number 2 would be that you can phase up to a positional advantage and shoot the enemies from different angles than your teammates would be. Tip number 3 is strafing and crouching while up close. Strafing and crouching can both be used heavily to your advantage when playing Wraith, since her frame and hitbox are one of the smallest out of all the legends in the game. A big part of Apex Legends is movement and never standing completely still during a gunfight. By strafing back and forth along with crouching, it will make it very difficult for enemies to hit you. Alright everybody, that's going to wrap up the tips portion of this video. Now we're going to move on to the gameplay portion where I review an entire game. I'm going to cut out some boring parts, only leave the action fights in, and I'll explain why and what maneuvers that I'm doing so you can get a better understanding of how to play Wraith aggressively. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Killed an enemy. Reloading. First blood. Keep it up. Catching myself up. Beginning ring countdown. Making contact with enemy. There's another squad attacking. Reloading. Enemy down.
So a couple of things I want to touch on in that first fight right there, not counting the one up top where the guy barely had a weapon in time. But as you noticed, before we went into that fight, I was kind of low on health. So I was hugging the wall right there that Wraith was taking shots at us. But I was peeking from the right side because if you guys notice, I know a lot of people don't know this, but the gun is actually positioned a little more on the right side of your screen. So you're going to take less damage if you peek out from the right side. And then once my teammates started rushing, I rushed the other way. We're taking on the enemy from 2 different angles. He's not going to know what to do. He's not going to know who to shoot at. So that was a good play right there. And then the second guy got a nice little height advantage on the box, and he obviously had no idea I was in that corner either. So that was a nice little play by me and my teammate.
Frag out. Reloading.
Alright, so right there, pretty simple fight. We saw them in the middle of the tunnel looting, so I decided to chuck a nade at them. Throwables in this game are very crucial to have. Carry them at all times. Just like free up one spot and carry some throwables in case of enemies looting like that, or to get some easy damage on enemies if they're stuck in a corner. Throwables are insanely useful. Honestly, thermites might be the best throwable, but we had a frag grenade right there. We took advantage of it, got some nice damage on them. And if they had shot me in that room, in that little tunnel, I would have phased, but thankfully we saved it there and then climbed up on the box for some easy kills.
I downed an enemy. Whole squad's down. We made the right choices. Whole squad's down.
Nothing crazy again in that fight right there. Got the nice third party on the guy that was reviving. And you're going to notice a trend in that second guy that ran up, or the third guy, if we're counting the two guys that were down in the bottom rezzing. The third guy that ran up there, I have the height advantage on that guy again. I'm shooting down at the guy while he's shooting up at me. It probably took him a while to get his aimer up there. He didn't know I was going to climb up, so that was an easy kill for me. Height advantage, positional advantages are crucial in Apex Legends. I say it in most of my videos. That's because I mean it. You need to take height advantage, and it's going to win you a ton of more gunfights, guys.
Package coming in. Reloading.
You guys know exactly what I'm going to say. I said it in the last clip. Height advantage. That Crypto had to climb up to me, put him in a terrible position. Actually got him fried. And then the other guy was pretty low for my teammate shooting him. Nice, easy kills right there.
This won't hurt. Hold on. Reloading. 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 Killed an enemy. Reloading. That was the last one. Nice work.
Did you enjoy that kill?
The champion fell. Reloading. You're being aimed at. Phasing.
Next victim, right here.
Heads up, we've got an airstrike coming in.
Attention, delivering care package.
Get over here and get me up.
Heads up. Care package coming in.
Get me back in the fight. Get me up. Get back right over here. Enemy right here.
Reloading. Enemy down. Watch yourself. There's another squad attacking. Need to recharge my shields.
Alright, I'm guessing you could tell what I did wrong in that clip. I absolutely gave up the height advantage. It's really unlike me, actually. I usually don't jump down from the height advantage, but I was feeling a little frisky, and it bit me in the ass, just like, pardon my language, bit me in the butt, just like it always does when I give up positional advantages, and my teammate actually died because of it. I'm sorry, buddy. I tried my best, and we end up winning this game, so don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. I end up rezzing him over here. But I couldn't get the revive on him. I know I'm going to get some comments like, why didn't you pick the dude up? That's because the lifeline was lurking around that corner, and then once I went over to those other guys, I caught them looting, caught them off guard, some easy kills. I came back to try to get the res again, and that guy was still there, so he definitely would have popped out and tried to shoot me. That lifeline was actually pretty dumb for trying to finish him after he knew I was already at the height advantage. So yeah, that's about it for that.
I set the portal.
Why can't I just die already? I'm not thanking you.
You're being aimed at. Need to recharge my shields. Void running. Recharging my shields. Look out, grenade. Reloading. Enemy down.
Optics here. Sniper. Doors here. Care package going down.
Reloading.
Alright, and as for that last fight goes, that first guy honestly just got fried when I peeked above the cliff there, so I had to push him a little bit more. I had to keep shooting at that one guy, and then the second guy, obviously, again, gave up his advantage, fell down low, and he put himself in a terrible position. Nice and easy win. GG's to my teammate. That is how to play Wraith aggressively, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.